morning, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam on this Sunday, Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to any of the fathers out there. So, what have we got on today's itinerary? Today, we are going to discuss, let me turn the air conditioner on a little bit, because the temperature is a little bit fucky in the car. Today, we are going to discuss Cha-Cha Real Smooth, the latest, the latest Sundance movie to be released on Apple TV+. Now, I was very excited for this movie, especially after Coda did its thing, because this is another movie that was independent. Apple acquired it at Sundance for a lot of money, not quite the same amount of money that it acquired Coda for, but for a lot of money nonetheless. And then I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool movie. I knew next to nothing about it, besides I knew Dakota Johnson was in it, and besides that, not much really to know about said movie going into it. And I don't think I've been so disappointed in the quality of a movie in a long time. Like, I can't think of another movie that I was expecting to be really good, and then it just not deliver on any level in the way that this movie does. Because first of all, the movie is written, directed, and stars all one guy. The writer-director also stars in the lead as Andrew. And my problem with this, I can't stand that as a thing, because what ends up happening is you end up with what you end up with, that guy has a fucking Goku thing on front of his car. What you end up with is no one is really there to tell the director, or the actor in this case, because the director and the writer are also the actor. There's no other person there really to be like, you might want to rein it in a little bit, like, you know, because the entire thing is kind of contingent on this guy's charm, and whether or not this guy has the charm factor to deliver, like, to pass and be a leading man. And I don't think it, like, for me at least, it didn't work. I found him annoying. Where it's like the sarcasm and all of that, it feels very inauthentic, and the dialogue doesn't feel real either, that he's involved in. At no point in this does it feel like that. And really what the movie is, it's a movie about a 23-year-old who comes home from college and doesn't know what he's going to do with his life. And since, like, the 2000s, we've seen so many of these movies. And it's like, it's basically, it's kind of its own subgenre at this point. It's called mumblecore. And if it weren't for the fact that, like, 2 weeks ago I watched Frances Ha, and I looked into the movie a little bit after watching it, I wouldn't know this genre existed. Now I'm falling down the rabbit hole of these kind of movies. And the thing that bothers me about this movie is the fact that it has a $15 million budget. It has these huge names, and it doesn't do anything different. There's nothing about Cha-Cha Real Smooth that's telling a different story that we haven't been told time and time again. And it touches on things that are our major ideas, but again, it's all written by one guy who is 23 years old. And I'm not saying that I sound like an old man. I realize that. I sound like an old man for saying that he can't have the voice. But look, we have a single mother who has an autistic child in this movie. Said single mother also has a miscarriage in this movie. And none of it really is addressed in any meaningful way. It's not, because it's, you know, it's not even like, oh, it's not about that. It is very much about that. It is very much about what is this guy going through. Oh, dead deer. Someone should clean that up. Instead of just leaving it on the sidewalk. What the fuck is wrong with everyone? But, like, look, if you're gonna tell this story, that's fine. But, like, one of the things, if you're a writer, and I saw there was a joke from Tumblr from, like, a decade and a half ago that was like, being a writer is really interesting because, like, 1 minute you're telling a story, and then the next minute you're on Google looking up what the average snowfall is in Edinburgh, and it's like, there's research involved. Like, you can't tell a story like this and not consult with people. And not be like, alright, so let's talk to a woman who actually has an autistic daughter. Let's talk to a woman who... And it's like, the thing is, the way the autistic daughter is portrayed is kind of like young Sheldon. And the girl does a great job in it. But it feels like that same kind of, like, Hollywood, like, autism. I'm not saying that it's different from real autism, but it's like, it feels like that fabricated version that we see on TV and in movies and all of that kind of stuff. And with that, what you end up with is nothing about this movie feels authentic. Nothing about this movie feels like it has a unique voice or is going out of its way to do something unique and different. It's all just things we've seen before. And things we've seen before done better. Done without the big name actors and actresses that this movie has. So this movie has Dakota Johnson, who's may not be a household name, but she led 50 Shades of Grey. She led all three of those movies. She's leading Madam Web coming up. She's had a few other. She's kind of an indie darling as well. She's got one other indie movie that was coming out of Sundance, but she also had Suspiria. She had Suspiria. She had a few other small independent movies that she was in as well. And if we're looking at it like that, it's like you have that. You have Brad Garrett's in the movie. You have Leslie Mann in the movie. And it's like, with all of these people in this, and a $15 million budget, you're doing what Frances Ha did for a fraction of the budget, but not doing it as well. And without the big name stars. Because, keep in mind, like, yeah, Adam Driver's in Frances Ha, but he wasn't a big household name yet when that movie came out in 2012. Because Girls hadn't even come out yet when that movie came out. Like... Or Girls had just come out when that movie came out. So, there was no Star Wars yet. There was no Marriage Story. There was no Last Duel. This was early Adam Driver in his career. And all of these movies, what they do is they take small actors that haven't made it big yet, and they bring them in, and they're like, look, we're going to tell this story, we're going to do this movie, and we're going to, we're going to do it on the cheap. And they are all very cheaply shot. This movie is $15 million, looks $15 million, and the problem with that is, it's like, if you're going to do a story that's been done before, do something different. Tell a different take on the story. Give an actual resolution to the emotion. Because, like, that's the other problem with this movie. It's that you have this guy who... Oh, shut the fuck up, progressive thing. If you have this guy who has this problem of not knowing what he wants to do with his life, like, it's not even like he has something he wants to do, and it's not like he has an emotional closure to the end of the movie, or he doesn't feel like he's grown at all over the course of the movie. And at the end of the movie, he's still 23. It's not like we've gone and it's like years and years and years later, and it's a totally different situation that he's in. And it's like, and he has realized that this is an important part of his life. It is, he's still that same person. He's still this, it's still this, this early in his life. I was just like, this is not great. Like, I've definitely seen better movies than this. I've seen better movies than this in recent history. And it's not even like going back as far as like Frances Ha or Funny Ha Ha or like, Hannah Takes the Stairs, or even going back further to like Slacker or Clerks or something like that. And you mean to tell me that this can't be like, this is what is going on here? Like, it baffles me. It truly baffles me. And look, he's gonna get a screenplay nomination. That's almost a guarantee. He might get Best Picture nomination. He might get Best Director nomination. He may get a Best Lead Actor nomination because applicants sink a lot of money into an Oscar campaign. That doesn't mean it's worth it. It doesn't mean it's worth watching this movie. So look, if you have Paramount Plus, go watch Clerks. If you have Criterion, go watch Slacker, go watch Frances Ha. If you have Mubi, which is available through Amazon TV, go watch Funny Ha Ha. Watch one of these other movies that does what this movie does better, cheaper, and I just, that's probably a better way to to handle this whole situation than to watch this one. So we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode will be tomorrow morning for the Time Traveler's Wife finale, and then tomorrow evening we will be doing Miss Marvel, the second episode. I will finally be getting into that. So until then, have a great rest of your week.